Hey everybody, so in this video I'm going to be walking you through how to get started on the scratch art project. First things first, click create new, and we're going to make a new file. Obviously we always want to start off with a name, so I'm going to name it scratch art. I'm going to make it 11 inches wide and 11 inches high, 300 resolution and CMYK color mode, because we do want to print this eventually. Alright, so I'm going to hit create, and you'll see we have a nice square canvas. And the next thing that we want to do is we want to pick out what gradient color we want in the back. Because if you think about those scratch boards that we used to use as kids, they always kind of had like a fading color, almost like an ombre effect, right? So we just want to figure out what color we're going to be using for that. So we are going to go down to that little circle at the bottom of the screen, and when you hover over it, it'll say create new fill or adjustment layer. You're going to click that, and you're going to click gradient ... and you're going to get this little window that pops up. To change the actual gradient, all you do is you click this little drop down menu, or you can just click it and it'll open up a whole gradient editor. I honestly think that there's some really great presets on here. The one that I really like is the iridescent one, but you guys can look through all those different colors depending on what you're looking for. But I'm just going to click one of these, and this one is awesome. You can also edit these as well. Once you select one, you can kind of go in and make it your own a little bit. But this one's fine for now, so I'm going to click OK, and then I'm going to click OK, and that's all for that. So next step is we want to get pretty much like that black overlay, pretty much the part of the scratch art that gets scratched away. And we're just going to go back down to that menu that we were just in, and this time we are going to go to solid color. And right now my solid color is white, but as we know, when we're doing scratch art, usually it starts off black. So I'm just going to drag the color picker down to the bottom left corner and click OK. And now we have a nice black overlay. Alright, so next thing we're going to do is we are going to figure out our reference photo. So I already have a reference photo in my clipboard, so I'm just going to click Command V to paste it. And as you can see, I have this adorable fuzzy llama. You want to make sure that you choose an animal that has fur, because a big part of this project is, communicating that texture of fur or hair. So this one was perfect for me, so I'm just gonna adjust it, make sure it's in the center, change the size if I have to, and then we will be all ready to go. Alright, so after you have it in the spot where you know you want it, the next step is to go down to your layers panel, make sure you're still in that layer, and then you're going to change the opacity to 50%. And what that's going to do is it's going to make it so that the image is slightly see-through, halfway see-through to be exact. And this is going to allow us to kind of trace while still seeing the final product partially. Alright, so next step is we are going to go down to our color fill layer. And what we have to do is we have to get into the layer mask. Layer masks are interesting, and they're used a lot in photography, but they also allow us to do things like what we're about to do. Pretty much when you see a layer mask, white means active and black means inactive. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be painting black on our layer mask in order to make it so that certain parts of the layer aren't active, so that we can see through it to see that nice gradient color that we already picked out. Anyways, so to get into the layer mask, you go down to that layer and you're going to click that white box that is next to the actual fill, and you'll know that you're in it because, as you switch between these, you can notice that these little white lines are around the corner. You'll know that you're in the layer mask when the white lines are around the white area. Okay, so now we are in, and all that's really left to do is to get into our brush tool and start actually drawing. But when you're drawing, remember, like I said, white means active, black means inactive. So when we're in our brush tool, we want to go down to our foreground color and make sure that it is a pure black, which it is right now. But if it's not, or if it's a different color, make sure you do that, because let's say you have like a nice light blue. What's going to happen is your drawing will only be halfway effective. You'll be able to see through it. So you want to make sure it's pure black. So now, this part's going to take a lot of zooming in. So make sure you go into your zoom tool, figure out where you want to start, and of course, make sure you're in your layer mask, and you're just going to kind of start following along with those little fur lines. Of course, you want to use your Wacom tablet, and you want to start with a very small brush size because these hairs are so tiny. So let's get started. Alright, so I'm getting started a little bit, and you can kind of see what's happening now as I'm adding my lines. You're kind of starting to see that light blue color coming through. But every now and then, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go to that layer of the reference photo and change the visibility so that you can see your progress. Right now, I do want to say I am not using the tablet, and you can tell, and I'll be able to tell if you guys aren't using the tablet, because you can't really see any pressure points because I'm not using the tablet right now. But once you go in there with the tablet, you'll get the sense of a kind of like wider bottom part, and then the top part of the hair might be a little bit lighter, and you'll be able to kind of do that with the Wacom tablet. So make sure you are doing that. So keep going with that, and I'll get back to you at the end. Alright, so here is an example of a good finished product, and like I said before, here you can really see the pressure of the pen. So this is what it looks like with the reference picture, but watch what happens when we hide the reference picture. Voila, look at that beautiful scratch art. So this is kind of like the final product that we're looking for, and it's just going to take a lot of patience. Don't rush. Make sure you do just one strand at a time, and it'll come out beautiful like this one.